6 strangers with different identities are invited to participate in the world's top escape room game under the guidance of a mysterious box in order to win a high prize. But who knows that the room is well laid out, full of traps, and murderous machines? Is it an exciting game or a life-threatening gamble? Who is behind all this? Who will be able to successfully solve the mystery and escape? The story is about Zoe, an introverted, non-verbal student from a prestigious university who is very interested in mathematical problems. Jason, a white-collar finance professional who travels among the rich and powerful in various fields. Ben, a loser who spends his days smoking and drinking. Danny, who has played hundreds of escape room games. Amanda and Mike, who are all very skilled and have a lot of experience. They were invited to participate in the world's top escape room games. Some of them were there for the big prize, others to prove themselves, and others just because they were invited by their clients. When they arrived at the designated location, a doorman at the door confiscated their cell phones and let them wait in the lounge. But after a long time no one came to receive them. Ben got impatient and wanted to go out for a cigarette. But the door handle, once touched, fell off, revealing a combination lock similar to an oven dial. Experienced Danny guessed that this might be our first secret room. The game has begun. Zoe found 6 coasters on the table. Pressed down the wall, Jason volunteered to be the first to run over to explore the way, and found that you can get out. But the coasters must be pressed at the same time. The channel will open, so they must find something to hold down. Otherwise at least 2 of them will be cooked. The resourceful Zoe poured the cups of water onto the coasters, but there was only enough water in the room to fill 5 cups. Amanda drank 1 cup in the middle because it was too hot. When the temperature was about to cook them, Ben remembered to pour in the wine he had with him, which escaped and went into the next room. The last one to come out is Danny, almost burned by the spewing flames, but he still thinks it is just the design of the game, is deliberately waiting for him to go out when the spewing. But it is clear that this game is a game of life, and there is no exit option. In the second room there was a 4-letter combination lock, and the only hint in the room was, "You will definitely go down in history." Everyone else looked confused, but only Ben knew it was a lyric. A few years ago, he went for a drunken drive with a friend and sang this song. He asked Jason to try the song's initials, and Jason typed it in and it turned on. Then they came to an icy chamber, just out of the oven and into the refrigerator. It was killing them. And they only found a down jacket. It is clear that the mastermind wants them to compete for resources and kill each other. Jason found a door, but no key. Mike found a fishing rod, Ben found a fish hole. Xiao Chui found a pile of magnets. So they tied the magnets to the fishing line. From the fish hole hanging up a key frozen by a large ice cube. They wanted to use Ben's cigarette lighter to melt the ice. But before they also taunted Ben. Ben impatiently threw the lighter on the ice. When Danny went over to pick it up, suddenly the ice broke and there was an undercurrent below the ice. Danny was washed up, the others could only dry up above. Danny was finally frozen to death on the ice. And then they could only take turns to use body heat to melt the ice. After the ice melted, Mike was frozen to faint. Jason picked up the key and rushed to the iron door, but after inserting the key, the passage appeared on the other side. At the same time ice and organs were triggered. The crowd frantically fled to the next level. Here is an upside-down billiard hall, a bit like a high-floor elevator. Every once in a while the floor will fall off a piece. The following is dozens of floors high elevator shaft. Do not hurry to find the exit, sooner or later fall to death. The door is a steel door, but there is no handle. Zoe wisely found the puzzle game, put together to give the clue to the password. Amanda, with a strong hand, got the handle disguised as 8-ball, and just when Amanda to open the door, the handle accidentally fell on the floor. In order to keep it from falling down again, Amanda did not hesitate to jump to the floor. Grabbed the handle in order to keep it from falling down again. Amanda didn't hesitate to jump to the floor, grabbed the handle, threw it to Jason in the process, and then just about jumped up herself when the floor fell down. Zoe kept encouraging Amanda. "You can do it. You can do it." But the physical exhaustion of Amanda finally did not last. The crowd cannot be too sad. Then came to a hospital room, where there is a file of each of them. Through the file we know, Zoe was in a plane crash with her mother and only she survived. Amanda was the only survivor of a battle in the war. Mike was the only survivor of a mining accident. And Ben was the only survivor of a drunken car accident in which all his friends died. Jason was boating with his roommate, and ended up trapped, and he survived. Danny was gas poisoning. The whole family died, only he survived. Then Zoe felt that it was all arranged by the mastermind behind the curtain. Follow their design, certainly cannot go out. So she began to resist, knocking down the monitors in the chamber, and the other 3 could not stop her. so they continued to look for clues. Jason found that he needed to use a heart rate tester to measure the limit of the heart rate. So he called Mike and used a defibrillator to shock Mike. The result was that Mike was electrocuted to death. The heart rate broke through 200 also failed. At this point the chamber began to spray gas. Jason could only try one last time to measure the ultra-low heart rate can pass. Then he immediately sat down and began to try to lower the heart rate. The results were successful. The channel also opened at the same time. The rest of Jason and Ben have passed. Only Zoe did not want to go to the next level, continue to tap the monitor, and finally was poisoned, fainted in the chamber. Then the remaining Jason and Ben came to a room that looks very dizzy. They want to work together to turn the escape hatch. The result of the door handle on the poison. The hatch hinted that there is an antidote in the room, so they can only find the antidote first. Maybe because ampere hours Cheung drink a lot, used to the feeling of vertigo. Grab first to find the antidote. It says only enough for one person, but he did not quietly use, but also turned his head to tell Jason, "Look, I found ya." Then Jason pounced on the result. Jason was not very lucky, hit his head and passed out. Then Ben used the antidote to detoxify, escaped to a constantly closing chamber, to quickly find clues to get out of here, or will be caught into meat pies. Ben although quickly solved the code, but the two sides of the wall does not seem to stop advancing. But Ben was lucky in time to hide in the wall of the fireplace. Became part of the wall so he could not be clamped. When the organ stopped running, Ben climbed out, after which he came to a place that seemed to be a monitoring room. At which point a person claiming to be the game administrator suddenly appeared and said that the game was run for the rich, and they were like horses on a racetrack. Rich people just sit behind and place bets to see which of them can live to the end. They were chosen because the theme of this issue is the luckiest people ever put together to see who is luckier. Then Ben asked if I won, would I be able to take the prize and leave? Then the gamekeeper came up behind him and tried to strangle him. After all, even if the horse at the racetrack won, the real winner is not the horse. Luckily Zoe arrived just in time. She actually used an oxygen mask to breathe, pretended to be poisoned and then sneakily knocked out the staff who came to collect the body and also grabbed their guns. Then she went straight to the surveillance room through the dark door, used the gun to solve the gamekeeper and escaped with Ben, and after they got out they called the police. But when they came back, the scene had been cleaned up to see no trace, no clues. Ben seems to have forgotten about the incident. But Zoe has been gathering information for the past 6 months. She found out that the 4 people who died in the chamber were arranged to die accidentally, and she found out that the organization's headquarters is in Manhattan, so she invited Ben to go with her to find out what happened. On the other side of the headquarters they designed a new game, is ready to welcome Zoe and Ben's arrival, kind of for the second part of a good setup. Finally attached the secret room survival guide. First, do not go to the place where you want to confiscate the phone, because the phone is the source of life. People leave the phone is going to die. Second, do not see a water fountain to receive water to drink. Third, find the antidote to use quietly. Do not tell everyone you found the antidote. Fourth, the lighter on the roadside you do not pick up. 5, do not look down. The floor will fall, do not cry. The bad guys will laugh. 6, please carry the door handle with you when you go out. 7, unknown packages please sign with caution. Beware of fraud. 8, a little humility. Drowning are able to swim. The game master are the fastest death.